Oh, obviously, the whole process has been incredibly traumatic for me. Watching that bushland bulldoze was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking to see the animals getting killed, displaced. Heartbreaking now to even see roadkill all around the Bunbury Outer Ring Road, even though there's fences up that are supposed to be protecting kangaroos from entering. I've got multiple pictures of decapitated, mangled creatures. It sounds a bit morbid that I go and take photos of that, but I guess I want to have evidence that this enormous project has failed on so many levels. And obviously I still enjoy walking in the bushland, but it's not the same. You know, we've lost so many trees, so many beautiful trees, and so much important habitat that nothing that was ever planted as little saplings is ever going to replace it in our lifetime, or probably our children's lifetime. So for me, it's a very difficult project to talk about because it brings up a lot of emotion. I understand the need for infrastructure, but I also understand the need for environment and important decisions that need to be made by people in power to do the right thing for all of us and the future. And unfortunately, what I witnessed wasn't that. And we are obviously left with the consequences. And I certainly concur with Kieran's comments. It has made a group of our community so much stronger as a result of coming together and fighting over a common cause. I understand what has to happen, but I also feel sad for what we've lost. And I think, you know, as a community, we will move on. But I think all of us are very conscious about how the system operates and what we can do to keep it accountable.
So I read the document, it's stunning. It's fantastic, so much information set out, really easy to read, very accessible, so much information. But what stands out for me is understanding things in the context of intersectionality and interconnection. So like what that document tells is a story, and for me looking at it was bringing that kind of lens of the so what, trying to answer the so what question going forward. What does this tell us? What does this protest, what does this process that we've witnessed tell us about issues like corruption, issues like, does it reflect something about late stage capitalism? Does it reflect something about collapsing systems? All of the language and concepts that are now being used internationally, particularly in academic circles, that say we've entered a period of late stage capitalism, therefore we'll have systems collapse, it's inevitable because of the consequences of climate change. The experiences of Gaza has changed everything. Nothing in Western society or globally will ever be the same after witnessing in real time a genocide. How does something like this fit into that? How do we see the limitations of what's happened here and the appalling processes? How do we understand the elements of that in a wider global context? Local context, where else will we see this? The fact that there's been people meeting about those trees on Sherwood Street. How are these issues related that council is desperately trying to deal with the housing issue by managing this strip of land and taking out even more trees? How does those seemingly disconnected issues in fact connect philosophically at a political, a social, ecological level? And how do we understand that? And how do we undertake any process at all, to pick up things like Kieran said, to build community, to build connection, and also to build resistance to what will come? There will be more of this. There will be more disregard for the community, there will be more disregard for local populations, and more focus on let's make money, let's support private industry at whatever cost. We don't care how much they rip us off or how much they blow out the budget. That's the priority, is to sustain a capitalist state, but it's going to fail anyway. So what do we do to protect the local? That was what.
Some take what they want